Hi guys. Shall I try and see if we can see a bit more of my table? I think we should. A little bit more, that's a bit better. Chopping off the top of my head. But do you know what? That's not a bad thing, guys, because I tell you, there's a lot of grey roots sprouting out there. I tell you, I'm literally April the 12th. I haven't even booked a hairdresser appointment because I'm worried that my poor hairdresser will be like inundated. But I've actually ordered some hair dye, so I'm going to do my hair at least that. But I am getting so sick of having bad hair days. Poppy. Sorry. We just chased the cat out of the cat flap. Hi Celia. Hello Helen. Hi Val. Hi Tracy. Let's see who we've got with us today. Rosie's online answering your questions. I'm not letting you out, Poppy. Vanessa. Hi, I cannot pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. I've tried to do it. Aisgil? Sorry, I'm really sorry. Serena, hello. Poppy, no. She's gonna, she needs to go out, guys, sorry. Hi, Deirdre. Oh, just bear with, guys, I'm here. I'm just letting the dog out. Go on then. And then I'm going to have to come and let her back in again, guys, because it was far too cold to leave the doors open at the moment. Hi, Angela. Sorry, I felt like I wanted to sit here for a little bit and enjoy everyone's names pop up. Anyway. Hi, Lorraine. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Polly. Ow. Hi, Susan. Keep saying hi. Excuse me. Keep saying hi, guys. This is really nice. Aww. I feel like I haven't sat and just said hi to everybody for a while. Oh, well done, Tracy. You managed us from the start. Yes. Hi, Deb. I'm glad you said that because I was like, oh, hello, jelly and ice cream. Oh, hi, Caroline. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Beverly. Poppy is still not ready to come in. We can't start, guys, until Poppy, because we'll just get interrupted. Oh, Poppy, I think there's another cat out there causing dramas. I like your new hair. Oh no, it's lockdown hair, not new. But anyway, I have decided I'm growing it. So yeah. It's Selena. Hi, Selena. It said so small. Hi, Selena. Hi, Lorianne. Great. Right. Let's see if I can get. Is she gone in? Poppy? No, she's still outside. Anyway, we're doing the Lois Dress today, guys. Who knows how far we'll get, but what I was hoping for is we're going to do our bust darts in our front pieces and also do the pleats and maybe stitch our shoulder seams together. Let's see if we can get that bit done together. It is actually a relatively simple dress, and I'm really sorry that I don't have one on, but I suddenly realised I don't think we ever made one, or we made them with the samples that we make for me. Generally stay in our archive of samples in storage, and then sometimes I make another one for me and I'll keep that in my wardrobe, but I didn't for this one, so I basically don't have one in my wardrobe. So it's a good thing I'm making one now. Right, I'm going to go call that dog, otherwise it'll be forever that we're here. Sorry, guys. Don't mind me. Just dealing with the animals. Come on then. In you come. It's very annoying. I got a cat flap installed, or a pet flap, that's big enough for Poppy, supposedly, so that she could come in and out. She basically won't go in it. She's scared. Right, I should say what I'm wearing, guys. This is the Edie hack that I did. So it's basically an Edie top, which is from the Work to Weekend ebook. And then I've got on, it's very similar to the Rosie, not Rosie. I saw your name, Rosie, and it distracted me. Georgie, there we go. It also ends in an IE. Yeah, and that basically, I've got a Georgie hack on that makes it, but I've done a maxi version of it. Anyway, that's very unarticulately described, as always, by me. Right, so let's make sure that we've got all the notches cut and all the little dart points marked, because there's quite a lot on this. So I'm going to put my back to one side and we're just going to focus on the front pieces. So quite unusual for when you're cutting out, well, not unusual, but it's not the norm to be cutting one right and one left, but often on wrap dresses that are woven, you get that, especially if they've got detail of pleats and things, because you don't want to have bulky pleats on the part of the wrap that goes inside the dress. You want them as a feature on the outside. So that's why we've got two different patterns here. But I've marked my bust dart there. So I've marked my bust dart, I've got my notches there, but what I haven't marked is all my circles for the pleats here. So I'm just going to mark those. It's quite nice actually this, because there's only one layer, what I can do is just pop the pin in to each one. So I'm making a size 10. Pop them all in. Check that you've done little snips at the bottom of those lines as well. So where the bottom of the line that you're sewing comes to. And then just mark the tops of those circles before we take the pattern off. So it's important that we've got all those marked. Okay. I've done that. I've checked twice that I've got all my notches in. I'm pretty sure I've got them all in, so I'm going to take everything out. Now, take all these pins out, and we'll start with the bust darts, I think. There is a centre front notch that I need there actually that I haven't put in. So there's the centre front notch that I've done, but there's also a circle. Let's just mark that too. I'm just using a Friction pen. These are great. Friction pens. They are very good for working on fabric. Although I don't think they were designed to work on fabric. They were designed just to work with paper. Okay, so that is done. Now, on the other side, so the left-hand side, just make sure you've marked a bust point. Cut all your notches in. Pretty sure I've done all of that. Yeah. Oh, we've got another little notch at the centre front that I've marked the notch, but the circle, we need to mark that. Make sure you mark that. There we go. Lots of marking. And I am using, I think you saw you there, Deirdre, say that you were using something similar. But I am using, oh dear, cat flap antics. I'm using this lovely crepe, guys, which we've had in before. In fact, we've got it in, what did we make this in? We made Bonnie blouse. The Bonnie blouse dress is made in this. I absolutely love it. Sort of evokes kind of English tea party. That's what I sort of think of. Bit vintage. Garden tea party. If the Queen invited me, I might wear fabric like that. She invited me for tea. And we've got it in navy as well. And I think we've got the Giselle and a Haxie skirt in it. Anyway, I bought it back in stock for this. So we've got it in this and we've got it in navy. Coco has come along. What a surprise. Don't knock that. No, off. Coco, off. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark our darts. I'll mark our bust darts here. So you want to fold your bust darts notches together and folding it right sides together. Okay, and we'll pop a little pin in there. I like to put my pins in horizontally because then I can draw my line more easily for when so I tend to put my pins in going across like that towards the folded edge of the dart, and then that allows me to draw my line. Now I'm one of those people that just draws one line. Some people draw a line either side and then they line up the lines together. How many times can I say the word line in a sentence? Too many. Okay, so we've got the notch there. We're putting the ruler on the notch, and then on the point, we've got the point at the edge, And we are coming down. There we go. So I've marked it in like that. And then I'm going to now just put some better pins parallel, like sitting on top of that line now to hold it. Because this fabric, I have to say, is a little bit naughty. It moves around a lot. So I want to make sure that that's really secure. So that's one dart marked. Let's do the same with the other one. So I always look for the armhole in these odd shapes so that you can think about, so you can recognise where it is. So the dart on this one on the left hand side is much bigger than the dart that you've got on the other side, and the reason why is because some of that fullness and shaping will be put into the pleats on the right hand side, so you don't need such a big bust dart. Whereas on the left hand side, when you don't have the pleats, because that's the side that will sit behind, you need a bigger dart to accommodate the shaping and things. And I'm sorry guys that we changed this, and I'm going to hold my hand up. It was completely me. I had a bit of a spur of a moment thing that I never ever do. I saw the forecast on Thursday or Friday. It was on Friday. I was doing a photo shoot on Friday with my sister for Sewoverit, and I saw the forecast and it was going to be sunny all weekend, and it was a weekend when I didn't have Jazzy, and so she was with her dad, and so I thought, do you know what, I really want to enjoy some sunshine with Jasmine. And so we looked at the diary, and apart from the Sewalong, that was the only thing I had that couldn't be moved. So I decided to do something which I very rarely do, but move the Sewalong just purely so I could have a day off in the sunshine with Jasmine. So thank you guys, and sorry that we've made that last minute change, but I'm glad to see that a lot of you saw that and are here. And I had a lovely day with her. We did some nice things. We went to the park for 2 hours, we were outside. And then we did planting in the garden, and yeah, we had a really nice mummy and jazzy day off. A day off, so nice. So, thank you, Jackie. I feel like it was a good decision. I'm very bad at making those decisions. Usually I just plough on, but I was like, no, my mum suggested it actually. She said, why don't you just take a day off at some point, Lisa? You seem very tired. And it was great. I feel really good actually having a 3-day weekend. Made so much. Ah, thanks guys. Don't be sorry for spending quality time with Jasmine. I know it's terrible, isn't it? But it's bad because I'm somebody that likes, if I say I'm going to do something, I don't like, you know, going back on my word, and if that means changing a date or something, I don't like doing that. I don't like letting people down. Oh gosh. I was like, oh, I'm just going to move this back, and off the table it goes. Right. So we're now going to stitch the darts. We're going to start at the edge where the notches are. And we are going to do a reverse at the edge, but we won't reverse it when we come to the point of the dart because we want it to go off and glide into a beautiful smooth end. So we're going to knot those two together. So pop the groove in the middle of the foot on the line. And follow that line off the edge. There we go. And then we're going to knot these two together. Now if you want, you can take the two strands and knot them, but I like to, it's easier, quicker, to make a knot in the fabric there, so I mean in the thread, and then tighten it and use the pin to push that down so it's nice and close to there. And then we just snip him off. Snippy snip snip. Like so. Okay, one dart done, one to go. So this is the finer dart I'm doing now. So I find it easier to glide off because you've not got such an angle. So it's an easier one to get a nice smooth end to. I'm just following my stitch line. What is going on? It's getting snuggly. Oh, that's fine. It's getting caught. And then I'm just coming, zooming along, and off I go. There we go. Oopsie daisies. And then I'm just going to trim those and then take that again and do my little knot. Just make a little knot in the thread, and then push in down towards the fabric and trim it off. So we now need to do the, we need to press it down really, but I'm thinking because it's a bit of a pain, I'm going to put the thing down and pick it back up, and then I'm not going to press mine yet. We'll press it once I've done the other stitching, the pleats. There we go, got the word. So we need to do those next. So I'm just going to put the left side, which doesn't have any pleats, to one side, and we're going to be working on the right. Now, Coco, you've sat on that. That's really useful. Coco. Sat on the pattern. So you can see on the pattern the arrow which way we're folding them. So that's useful to know. So you've also got your notches, obviously where your lines are, but basically it's annoying because I've got the lines are on the other side, but you're basically folding the dots to each other. So we've got the first dot, so that dot's going to that dot circle. So you've got 4 circles that we've marked. So that one's going to that one, and that one's going to that one. So I need to just find those on the back, and the notches will be there to help you correlate those. So I've got the 2 ones there. It might be, one thing that might make this easier is actually drawing lines in. I wonder if that's going to be a lot easier to follow what I'm doing. I think it probably will be. Yeah, let's do the lines. I think it'd be easier for you to see what I'm doing. So we've got our circles, we've got our notches. So what we can do is, if you have the pattern to you, then you kind of roughly can see the angle that the line is going to. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just going to find the notch at the edge, find the circle, and just draw a line. Just like you did with a dart. Obviously on the wrong side as well. Okay. It's just going to make it so much easier to find the notches and the circles if you've got a line connecting the two. So we are going to stitch these together, these pleats. Why has that notch not come through? How annoying. I have cut it in there. It's definitely cut in the paper. But for whatever reason it's not cut there. Never mind. Okay. Not one, for whatever reason it's not, so I'm just going to put this back on. Where is it? Oh no, I've just married it up wrong, that's what it is. Married him up wrong. Okay, good thing I did it on the back. Just mark that one there, that's for that one. Then that one's for that one, and that one's for that one, okay. Back again, sorry guys. Well, it's good to have the pattern to hand because you can check. I think what's thrown me as I was looking at thinking it was the other way around. I was working from the other side. Okay. And the last one is here. Cool. Okay. So I've turned it now to the right side just so I'm focusing on it. I'm going to place this there so I can see it, and I'm going to take that first one. So I've got my first line and I'm going to take it to my next line, and I'm going to line up the lines, and I'm going to line up the circles. So if you start by putting a pin in at the notch edge, and then you can put a pin in at the circles. So the circles are, so you put your pin through, find where the circle is on the other side, and then close that pin across along the line. And then you should find that as you're putting each pin in, you're lining up. And if you need to adjust it, you can just slightly adjust how it's folded until those lines line up. Okay, just put that one in there. So that's that one done. And then I've got to do the next one. So again, thinking about, we're working from the side seam towards the centre front. So again, following the direction of the arrows. Got the next little pleat here. And these pleats are kind of coming across. There we go. So find your circles, use your pin to go through the circles together. Close your pin off. Should have started with my notches actually. Get your notches. Yeah, it should be quite good. I'm just checking that. It is quite close to the centre front edge, the second one. Stop. I'm just going to move this pin so it's on this side. And then line up your lines. So put your pin in and follow that line. Sorry guys, it's not very clear for you to see what I'm doing here really, because you probably can't see the pen lines from there, can you? But I'm just popping my pin through the line and making sure that it's following up with a line on the other side. Okay. Voila. Okay, and I'm just going to put a pin going across where the circle is, so I know exactly where I'm stopping. And the same on this side. So I'm going to start at the edge, at the raw edge, and I'm going to stop at the circles. So what we've created now is 2 pleats, and we're going to stitch those pleats in place. So let's do one at a time. Just make sure that the other one doesn't accidentally get in the way of the one that you're sewing. So starting at the notches. Now you can do a reverse at both ends of this one. A bit like the bust dart, you want to follow. You want to follow with your foot along the pen line that we drew, just to help guide you. And when we get to the circle, I'm going to take that final horizontal pin out and make sure I'm stopping right on there, right where that circle is. So that's that one done. Okay, and then do the next one. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're whizzing through. We're doing fine for time. Okay. Correct this, it's sort of moved away a little bit. Okay, next one. So reverse at the start, follow along the line. And take your pin out when you get, so that pin marking the circle, take it out right at the last minute, do my little reverse. Okay, so now we've got 2 stitched, give you context, there we go, and we are going to just trim off all our threads now. we're definitely going to need to do some ironing. Just want to check. I think we're gonna also then machine tack these so that they're really held in place. I just want to check that there isn't anything else. I think I forgot to do the stay stitching. I just realised we need to stay stitch. Oops. Sorry, I'm just putting the password into my computer. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. So yes, I'm terrible for remembering stay stitching. I think it's because I never used to stay stitch. We didn't used to stay stitch in couture, and for whatever reason, whatever I learnt when in couture, I've kind of like just, it's stuck with me. So I hate interfacing, absolutely hate it. But obviously I understand it's got a reason and we need to use it. But some of the earlier patterns, when I used to teach right at the beginning, I didn't used to put interfacing in the facings and stuff. And I remember when some of the teachers came and started teaching with me, and they would be like, Lisa, I really think we should interface this. I'm like, no need. Because we wouldn't use interfacing in couture generally. Unless it was really, really necessary. But you mostly used to mount fabric on other fabric to give it stability. Anyway, I don't know why I've gone off on a tangent like that. But anyway, stay stitching and interfacing are the two things I always forget to do because I don't like doing them. I don't like how they sometimes change the fabric. I think the stay stitching, I often think, oh, well, it's not going to do that much depending on the type of fabric that it is. And sometimes when people stay stitch badly, they end up stretching things more. However, I do understand that majority of the time it is a very good thing to do. And certainly in this fabric, it's definitely a good thing for me to do because it's moving. Okay, so we are, we've done the pleats, pressing the seam allowance towards the side seam. Okay, so we're pressing these towards the side seam and we're pressing those darts down, and then we're going to stay stitch. And do it very, very carefully because this neckline is on the bias or just slightly off the bias. So if you overhandle fabric, that's what it's to do with. It's to do with overhandling fabric. Now, if you've got something that's stretchy, even if you're stay stitching it, the actual stay stitching of that is going to, it's gonna be another opportunity for that fabric to stretch. So we're just getting this darts in, a nice bit of steam there, and then these our little darties, we're going to press these, not darts, pleats, whatever, they're going to come towards the side seam. And what I'm going to do whilst I've got it on the ironing board, I'm just going to put a pin in just to hold those pleats steady. There we go. Right, that's done. Oh, Mr. Iron. Shh, shh. I've got water in there, but he's pretending as though he hasn't. And the Friction pen, I love it. You just iron over that and it just goes, it's gone. Amazing. So much better than chalk, I find. It's so much more accurate. So just very gently using the tip here just to get that, the front of my darts really pressed properly right at the point. And the reason why I know that this fabric, because I've worked with it before, I can press on the front side of it, but if you're ever unsure, you need to use a pressing cloth in between it. Nothing worse than leaving a mark on the front of your fabric. So, okay. So now we've got to stay stitch these necklines and we've got to machine tack these in. So let's just machine tack the bottom of the pleats together. So this is just to hold it all together. So the seam allowance on this pattern is 1.5 centimetres, like most of our patterns. And that's 5/8 of an inch. And so we just need to make sure that our machine tacking or basting is essentially whole, is within that seam allowance. So just to hold it still, so when we join it with the waist seam, we basically know that all those layers are going, because even though we press them, they'll be naughty and they'll start moving out the other way. Sorry, I've moved I need to keep that back there so you can see a little bit of what I'm doing. So I've just machine tacked those together so that they're just, I can take those pins out now. So I know now my pleats are just going to be held together at the bottom. Right, stay stitching this neckline. Now I think the seam allowance on the neckline is 1 centimetre. Doesn't say actually. I'm going to do my stay stitching. Normally it would be, maybe it's not because it's facing, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to do it as 1 centimetre. Now this is on the bias. It is going to stretch if you overhandle as you do the stay stitching. So I am going to be super, put it back onto normal stitch length. I'm going to be super careful that I'm not overhandling this, and I'm essentially sort of pushing it back. Pushing it up towards the, can you see what my hands are doing if I do it like that? I'm pushing the fabric towards the foot. It's causing almost like a little ripple before it goes under the foot. And what that's ensuring is that I'm not accidentally stretching. If you hold your fabric too tightly and too flat on the base of your machine when you're doing this kind of stay stitching on a kind of bias or off grain edge, then you will stretch it. And there's an opportunity to get it back into being unstretched when you put your facing on, but even so, let's try not to make life too tricky. Okay, one is done. One is done. I'm going to do the other side. I'm also thinking about when I'm stay stitching, like I do with most things when you're dressmaking, I'm starting at the same, so I'm working from the wrong side, which doesn't matter for stay stitching, you can sew on the wrong side or the right side, but I'm making sure that I'm sewing in the same direction, so whatever I did for the left side, I'm doing for the right side, so I'm working from the top down towards the waist. Okay. There we go. So we can now join at the shoulder seams. Oh, Coco, sorry darling, you're gonna have to get off. Oh, she's comfy on there. I feel like a pin. She's basically, you can see the corner of her tail there. She's basically sitting all on my pattern pieces, and there's all got pins in there. She doesn't care. Keeping them warm for me, aren't you, Coco? So I'm just taking the pattern paper off my back piece, and we're going to join them at the shoulder seam. Let me just check that I haven't missed anything else. Nope. So right sides together. So it's easy if you leave everything like that, and then we can place this. Sorry, I've just seen Australia. What was that? I'm missing comments, guys. I'm missing chat. Oh, we've got Elisa joining from Australia. That's what. And Shanali in Sri Lanka. Oh, wonderful. Very international today. I think I've seen Sal pop up there, so I know you're in Australia too. We've got the west coast of America covered as well. Have we got people, anyone watching from the East Coast in America? We've got people dotted all over the UK. We've got Helene in France. Celia, remind me where you are. Oh, we've got someone in Dubai as well. Hello. Wonderful. Ooh, really young. Erlanger. Where's Erlanger? I'm sorry, you put KY, but I don't know what that is. Oh, we've got someone in Tennessee. Oh gosh, I wish we could just sometimes like geo map, like plot all the locations that people are tuning in from. How cool would that be? Our international sew-alongs. You could use stay tape, absolutely, Susan. But one thing I'd say about stay tape, if you've got a super fluid neckline, Kentucky, thank you. Super fluid neckline, and you're then putting stay tape on it, it's gonna suddenly be a lot stronger than the rest of your garment, and therefore may affect the flow of it. Oh, Teresa's in Louisiana. And it may just look wrong because it's so stable, but it depends, okay? So, yes, but I wouldn't, it depends how lightweight your crepe is that you're making out of. I would never use a cotton stay tape with something as lightweight. I probably just about could get away with it with this, but anything lighter weight than this, like it's in this kind of instance, it is just gonna make it almost rigid, and you'll be able to tell that. It's a judgment call. Because if you think you're adding cotton to an edge that would be more fluid and soft, and then you're kind of strengthening it with that cotton, but then you're going to change the way that it drapes and behaves. So it's a hard one, really. It is a hard one. I mean, there are other kind of Vilene tapes. So when we're using, you could use a Vilene tape. But what we used to use actually in couture a lot is we used to cut. So you get some silk organza. We used to cut bias strips about 1.5 centimeters, and then cut them into strips, and then you would iron and stretch. You go like that, and it would stretch out the bias binding so that it was super strong. It wasn't going to stretch any further, like the bias moved to its kind of most stretch points, wouldn't stretch, and then it becomes really stable, but it's also super soft. So therefore it's not going to be like it's going to be a softer kind of look to a cotton stay tape. We use it a lot in bridal wear actually. Right, okay, now we are going to stitch our shoulder seams together, 1.5 centimeters seam allowance, 5/8 of an inch, if you will. And we're going to reverse at the beginning and at the end. Yep, and then we're overlocking. I've decided I'm not going to use the overlocker. You know, when I was doing the Zadie with you last week, and I used just the zigzag. So nice. I was really happy how it looked. Oh, thanks, Sharon. How it looked. So I'm just going to continue with that because it saves me having to get the you know, the overlocker up and down. I mean, if it was a project where it needs really quick kind of finishing of the seams, otherwise it would be boring for you guys, then I would use the overlock because it's quicker. But because these are just short little bits, I think I'm just going to do it with the zigzag. I haven't decided what skirt, I haven't cut the skirt out yet because I have been thinking that I might put a different skirt on this. But I don't know what skirt. All will be revealed in the makes video. The makes video for February will be up. It'll be up on Saturday. So you'll be able to see all my finished makes on that. It's nice to see how things look, isn't it? Once, you know, because you're seeing them on the sewing machine here, you're not getting an idea for how they're looking. Oh, what is that? We're getting some random. I've got bobbins in my little case here at the bottom. It is Lisa. My hair's getting very long. It's horrible lockdown hair. I mean, it literally. I've ordered from Amazon some hair dye tonight. Got to sort my roots out. It's really quite convenient that the camera at the moment is cutting the top of my head off. There's like so much grey hair in there that I know some people love rocking the grey look. I'm not somebody that thinks I look good like that. So at least I'll have dyed my roots. I'll be feeling better about that, but I won't be feeling better about my fringe. And do you remember in the last lockdown I attempted a haircut myself with these scissors? And it was like, I had messages from, on the Lisa Comfort Home side of things, I had messages from hairdressers being like, I feel awful for you. Gosh, that just looks awful. Like in a nice way. I was like, no, I'm not going to make that mistake again. But what I need to do is, it's now long so I can do nice updos, but I haven't been wearing it up because of my grey roots. So I now need to like focus. Is it, Sal? Oh, long hair. I now need to, like, yeah, once I've dyed my hair, I'll focus on some hair updos. So maybe next Sew Along you'll see me sporting a different look. So I used to be able to do lots of like vintagey looks and stuff with my hair that I loved. So I used to like spend evenings, actually, I remember that. I used to spend evenings practicing hair updo and hairstyling. But yeah. I know, I've heard hairdressers are like saying to their customers, do not call us. We will call you. We've put you on the list that you want a haircut. We will get in touch. Right, let's zigzag those seam allowances together and then we'll be pressing them towards the back. Yeah, I think it's worse when you've got a really short haircut. It's really hard then to kind of, yeah. Anyway, we're a nation of bad haircut. The only people I know that haven't got bad haircut is if they're married to or live with a hairdresser. They're fine. I think if you've got really long hair, my sister was able to like, I cut on her, she was very happy because on this photo shoot, she has some good hairdressing scissors, so I cut her fringe for her. But she said, like, well, if you've got really long hair, you can just kind of do that and just sort of trim it off like that. So she did a bit of that. Okay, oops. But making sure when it's on the right, it's hitting off the edge and wrapping round. Make sure it's really kind of binding that edge. That's what we're aiming for with a zigzag. Right, I'm going to go, because it's not very exciting ironing, guys. I'm just going to crouch down there and iron these so that they're facing the back. Talk amongst yourselves. Right, now I believe, guys, should we have a little stop and a trial? See where we're at. You know, I like to do this. Anyone watching who's new to sew-alongs will not know that this is something I like to do. I think it's important, especially for beginner dressmakers, to see how things are taking shape. It's nice to do it for yourself. You can see, there we go. Got a lovely little pleaty detail here. And those obviously side seams will get stitched together. But yeah, that's the bodice. Right, I believe the collar is next, guys, which I have done all my waffling of interfacing. I've not actually done my interfacing, so I'm just going to do that. Oops, post-it notes and all sorts. So I just need to trip those on. Didn't think that we'd get this far, actually. Thanks, Lorraine. Go out like this. Do love this colour, actually, though. I wasn't too sure about it, but it is a pretty colour. Okay, just trim these. So yeah, I couldn't think whether I might put a gathered skirt on it, not like this sort of slim sort of skirt that comes with it. And then I was thinking, should I go maxi? But then I thought, I don't know if this pink is a maxi fabric. And I thought, and then I might go midi, because I thought I might kind of style it up with little white pump trainers, like my Supergas, with like a black leather jacket. And who else, this is maybe to UK, because I don't know what's happening in other countries, You know, some countries like Australia, you guys are freer than us, but who else is now, when they're making things, starting to think, oh my goodness, I will actually be wearing that. I can imagine where I could wear that. Because at the moment, I haven't been allowing myself to do that, imagining, oh, I'd wear that for a night out with my friend if we went back to this favourite restaurant or whatever. And I know that is a while away, but in the UK, we are going to get some outside catering places open in April, I believe. So even if we're not able to go with anyone other than the people that we, you know, in our bubbles, but I feel like I'll be able to have more things to dress up to. So guys, sorry, whilst I'm waffling about me going out, I'm just marking in these circles on the collar stand. Now I saw someone saying, yay, I'm glad that I'm doing the collar, but I don't know how far I'm going to get because I've got to quickly interface it. Yeah. Interface, so right sides together. Maybe what I could do is just one side on one of the collar pieces. So that's right. Okay, so let's see if I can just quickly do a little bit of the collar with you. quick. You are free, are you, Sal? Oh. Oh, that's great. Dressing up on Sunday for a takeout. Also, this weekend in London, it was lovely weather. I think it was nice weather actually around a lot of the country. And so I went to Hampstead Heath, and I have to say I did dress up a little bit. I mean, practically, because you know, I was walking around a massive park. But yeah, and there was a real vibe of that. It looked like people were kind of, you know, a little bit. It reminds me of Italy. In Italy, there's a lovely tradition called passeggiata, which is basically every evening before their dinner, people dress up and they walk along the big around the square or along the main streets, you know, and in the winter, you know, you see all these wonderful glamorous older women in big fur coats, and it's like, yeah, a little kind of like, it's a cultural thing there. And it felt a bit like that on Hampstead Heath. There were lots of dogs out, people in nice big coats, but the weather was nice, so it wasn't sort of super, and because it wasn't so cold, I felt, oh, I could wear something. I can't tell you what I was wearing because it's a new pattern that's coming out, but I was wearing something, giving it a test out in the wild. Those of you in the VIP club will be finding out about that next week. But yeah, it was, it felt really good. And, you know, I was saying in the team meeting actually today, I was saying it was the first day in ages where I felt like I was doing something that I would have been doing even if I hadn't been, you know, restricted, you know. Going for a walk on Hampstead Heath and getting a takeaway cup of tea or coffee, having a chat with a friend, you know, would have done that on a nice Sunday. So that felt nice. Oops. Sorry guys, I'm trying to be quick. You'll notice that I find it much easier if you're ever cutting out interfacing, if you cut it out using the fabric. So like, because interfacing, certainly the stuff that we sell, is very lightweight, and therefore pinning paper to it, it's harder to cut it out. And also because it sort of sticks to the fabric, it's brilliant because it then means that it doesn't need as many pins, whereas if you're putting the paper on, it would need a lot of pins. So a little tip, I never use the paper, I always use the fabric piece that I'm mirroring. Mirroring. It's quite hard to see what's the right side and the wrong side of this fabric, so to make sure that I'm going to be putting the interfacing on the wrong side, not to the right side. So that's that one. And then we've also got to do a collar stand. Okay. Right, I'm going to quickly disappear. I've still got this on. I'm going to quickly disappear. And then I'm going to iron that on. Okay. so I'm just going to take the steam off it, guys. Take it down to slightly less than the full heat. And I'm just going to iron this on to the wrong side. Ouch. Whilst I burn myself. Why the steam's still coming out, but it is, never mind. Sorry guys, you probably can't hear what I'm saying, it's not interesting. Waffle as always. Just finding that I've melted a bit of this interfacing, it's not plain ball. There we go. Better. I've done the collar, guys. I'm just doing the collar stand. And then I'll be back with you. Ugh. Back. Okay. It's a very shoddy bit of ironing quickly on there. Let's trim off that. This Vilene stuff really does stretch when you start fusing it with the iron. Got a bit stretchy bits here. Let's trim them off. Okay, right. So, not got long, about 10 minutes, but let's just attempt to start the collar. So we are joining the curved edge of one of the collar stand pieces with the concave edge of the interface collar. Okay, so curved edge, concave edge, so that's the bit that goes in of the collar. It's slightly more curved, so it's going to feel strange doing this. Feels strange, but it's not, it is correct. So we've got a centre back notch at the back of the collar that we're going to make sure that we're lined up with. And then we are just going to pin along, and it's going to sit flat until it hits this curved bit here, okay? And once it's on there, then we're going to pivot it round. Okay. There we go. Should follow the curve a bit there. Okay, so it's following the curve on there. So it feels like it's not going to work. It just needs to, it's just where it's kind of hitting, where it's going down on the collar stand and going up the other way on the collar. It just needs a little bit of manipulation, but that's the great thing about fabric. It manipulates. We're not making clothes out of paper here. That would be a pain. Just do it in little bits, and you'll find that if you do it in little bits, it follows the curve, and it comes round and then follows the curve of the collar. Like that along there. My collar actually is stretched a bit. I'm just going to have to ease it back in a bit. I'm just found that it's my collar stretched round this bit here. I don't want it to stretch. I'm just going to ease it in, so should get the meeting like that. Okay. So seam allowance, matching the circles, pin and stitch, centimetre seam allowance. I did think it would be. So centimetre seam allowance, guys. We'll follow this round. So 3/8 of an inch. Make sure you do your little reverse at the beginning, and then follow the curve there. Take your pins out only at the last moment around this particularly trickier part where the curve is, where the two curves were going against each other. Okay. being a bit naughty. I took that pin out and he started to jump away from the collar, but it's okay. My finger has kept him in place. The naughty thing. Okay. Right. Done. Okay. We're trimming it down. Trim the seam allowance down to half the width and press the seam allowance towards the collar stand. Okay. So I think that's probably all we're going to get to today, guys. I'm sorry that we didn't carry on with the collar. If you think it's, and if you ever think you find, if you know, we get enough comments about a tricky part of a pattern, we will add it to our Stitch School list of videos to film. So for those of you that don't know, our Stitch School is our online learning platform. It's a subscription base, so you join up and pay monthly and you get access to free patterns and long, like much meatier online classes, but you also get access to tutorials. And at the moment we are adding things constantly to it. New things coming up every week or two on there. Right guys, so that is your collar. Sorry, as far as we could get. I need to press the seam allowances up towards the collar stand, so that's going to go down towards that thin little bit. Okay. Oh, thanks Sharon, I like it too. It's definitely ready for tea party, isn't it? Or for a barbecue. Ooh, I can't wait to be invited to a barbecue. Right guys, I think that's it for today. So next week, Rosie, what are we doing? Is it the pencil skirt? I think we've put up new things. We've agreed what they're going to be, and I've forgotten. But we've got the pencil skirt, and are we doing that? Yep, thanks Rosie. What day are we doing it on? Because I know we're changing. I think next week it's still on Monday. And then after that, we're moving them more often to Tuesdays, unless it's the double whammy when we do 2 a week because it's a new pattern. But yeah, the schedule, the full schedule will be up on our site, and we'll pop a link to it as well below. But yeah, we've decided on some new ones. So yeah, we're still on next week on Monday. Pencil skirt, lovely. And you know what guys, I'm excited about that because it's an easy pattern. So I reckon by the end, I'll be able to put something on that's more than just like flappy pieces of fabric on. Anyway, thanks for Rosie for joining and answering questions. Thanks for everybody for chatting away and making this special. And oh, the new schedule's not up yet guys, but it'll be up on Monday. Sorry, oops, terrible me. Happy Wednesday indeed, Lorianne, and have a nice day. Bye.